Good evening all and welcome to another video on All Hail the Ale. It's Saturday night, which means it's craft beer night, and the beer we're going for tonight is a big Imperial Stout from Amundsen. It is this one. It is the Dessert in a Can Pistachio Cookie Dough Ice Cream. And yeah, what can I say? Well, I've had one or two beers from this range in the past. It's been a long time, I must admit, long before the pandemic kicked in 2020. So yeah, it's been a while. I do love a good Amundsen beer, though. Yeah, what can I tell you about this one? Well, it's obviously pistachio cookie dough ice cream flavoured. Your ingredients are listed as water, malted barley, oats, lactose, hops, yeast, and aroma. I assume by aroma they mean flavourings. So therefore, I guess the nuts and everything is kind of artificially flavoured. Anyway, it weighs in at 10.5% ABV. It's a 330ml can, and it was acquired for me by my good lady wife at this craft beer place in Trentham Gardens. And yeah, I don't know what she paid for it, probably through the nose, but we shall see what it's all about. So, without further ado, let's get it out into a glass and see what we think. So, with all my stouts, I generally prefer them not cold. And this one, it has been kept in the fridge, but it has been out of the fridge for a while to acclimatise. So, pouring it into my Titanic glass today. The pour is... I'm not going to go mental with the pour. Perhaps a little bit cold. Anyway, it is a jet black beer with a nice tan head of about a finger or so. Well, just under a finger. It is just about mahogany at the very fringes of the glass, and yeah, the roll in the glass it looks pretty thick. It does. So, let's have a whiff. It is an adjunct stout with pistachio type notes, but the biscuity cookie dough thing is there in spades. It's really quite sweet on the nose, quite cloying on the nose as well. So, and a little bit boozy, which I appreciate. So, yeah, right at the back end, the pistachio comes through. If you've ever had coffee, you'll know that kind of sweet note that's coming through right at the back end, just as you run out of breath on you inhale. It's almost a caramelized nut note going on. So yeah, it looks good. It smells really sweet and interesting. Let's see what it tastes like. Cheers. The body on that is excellent. It's medium heavy, verging on heavy. Silky smooth in the mouth. The carbonation is such that it's being oppressed by the body. So it's almost non-existent. It's there, but it's really being sort of held back. And that's a good thing for me. It's sweet. It is nutty, and it's not critically as sweet as I was expecting it to be. The big roasted malts are coming through in abundance, which for me is a great thing. The 10.5%, it's kind of there up front, then it fades away, and it's really well hidden. It's only upon the second sip there, maybe the third, and you kind of breathe it in, and you get the hint of the alcohol once more. It's kind of like a warming brandy-like thing. The pistachio flavour is quite muted. The cookie dough is quite pleasant and present, obviously, as well. And the ice cream thing, it works. I mean, obviously you've got the lactose in there. That's adding to the body, and that sweet milk stout thing that it does so well. It is, as the name suggests, dessert in a can. Yeah. Really quite pleasant. And I'm getting hints Just really subtle every now and then of a little bit of marzipan. And for me, as someone who loves marzipan, it's an amazing thing. If there are any marzipan stouts out there that I'm not aware of, please recommend them in the comments section below, because I would love a good marzipan stout. I think London Beer Factory did one for a while, and I haven't seen it for a long time. In Tesco's, I think it was. That was superb. This has got elements of that marzipan coming through that cookie dough, through that sweet milk stout flavour. And the finish is, really quite nice and sweet. So, let's give it some points, shall we? But before I give it some points, we're going to go to the scoreboard of joy, which says that the Amundsen's dessert in a can pistachio ice cream cookie dough stout, it has had 6,200 check-ins, 3 from someone I know, and look at those average scores. They're pretty damn close at 4.17, 4.47. Yeah, it's decent. It is decent. So my scoreboard of joy is currently void of everything, including the name. So let's just put that in there. Let's call it DIACPIC. Diakpic. Yeah. Pistachio ice cream. I forgot the cookie dough. Anyway, points. I'm digressing because in a big way. So the looks, it's a good looking stout. There's no getting away from that. Let's pour a little more. I'll say that the head is quite refined and restrained, but it's a beautiful colour, and the beer is exactly as it should be. Jet black, nothing really coming through on the fringes. It's getting a point. The aroma is sweet. It is very sweet. You get huge amounts of the cookie dough come through. Sugary, almost like that demerara sugar thing coming through with the butter. It's almost like a biscuit note. And then you get the malts come through, and there's a little hint of coffee, and there is that nut note just about coming through with hints of that coffee vibe. I like it. It's a little bit sweet though, so I'm going to give it the 0.75. The body cannot fault. Body is excellent. It's medium heavy, verging on heavy. Carbonation, is suppressed by that body, and I really like that. And it coats the mouth just like melted ice cream would. I really like that note. It's getting a point from me. The flavour is better than the aroma. I don't like them too sweet on the palate, and this one manages to avoid that cloying sweetness by kind of giving more of that bitter roasted malt and a little hint of that booze, and just allows the dough flavours just to permeate at the back end with a little hint of that nut and that little tasty surprise of marzipan. It's having a full point from me. And I know that's not really meant to be marzipan in there, but it just kind of works that way for me. And the finish is sweet enough without being overly sweet. I got a hint of the booze on the back end, plenty of that chocolatey roasted malts, and it really is quite delicious. Little bit less sweetness, that'd be perfect. Give it 0.75. So it's got 4.5 out of 5 from me, which means it can't have the full bonus, so we'll cross that one off now. Value for money. I don't know what my good lady wife paid for this. I suspect, given where she bought it, Trentham Gardens is overpriced for absolutely everything. I know she's going to have paid a premium price for this one. I think I've paid about £6.50 for a can of this before from, was it Bottlecraft or was it Otter's Tears in Burslem, as they used to be. Decent value for money, perhaps a little bit more expensive than that. I'm going to put a question mark because I don't know. It's not really fair to say. Would I buy it again? Well, I can't say I'd buy it again because I didn't buy it in the first place. But would I procure this particular beer for myself, even though this one was bought for me? We'll see at the end of it. It's another question mark. We'll see. Because I haven't finished it yet, and that sweetness that is there might become overpowering. But in the meantime, the Amundsen dessert in a can pistachio cookie dough ice cream has got 4.5 out of 5 with 2 possible extra bonus points from me. So we're going to leave it there today and enjoy this lovely beer. But one more sip before we go. And we're going to say that has been the beer. I've been me. Those down there are the buttons. You know exactly what to do with them by now. You've got your like, comment, dislike, and subscribe. Choose any combination of them as you wish. And I will see you again soon for another video. Bye.